At the beginning of this course, my definition of language was quite narrow. I understood language as a form of communication that allows humans to express their thoughts, emotions, and experiences, and I now understand it as sounds, symbols, and signs to communicate meaning and interact with others through spoken, written, or signed forms. While this definition recognized language as a communication tool, my understanding has since expanded to view language as multimodal, complex, and multifunctional. A moment that shifted my thinking occurred during the Topic 1 lecture, where we explored Halliday's three dimensions of language, learning through language, and learning about language. This framework stood out to me because it highlighted that language is not only something we learn, but also the primary means through which we construct knowledge and make sense of the world. In my notes, I wrote the phrase, language is multimodal, complex, and multifunctional, and sketched a simple diagram linking the phonological, somatic, syntactic, and pragmatic components of language. By creating this visual, it helped me understand language as an interconnected system rather than a set of isolated skills. My perspective was further influenced by the early years learning framework, which shows literacy as encompassing multiple modes of communication, including gesture, movement, music, storytelling, visual arts, and digital media. This broadened my understanding by emphasizing that meaning can be created and communicated beyond traditional written and spoken forms. The Australian curriculum version 9 English also views language in a way that extends beyond my initial definition. Rather than providing a single definition, the curriculum presents language as both a system and a social resource for meaning making. One statement identified during Learning Task 1.2 that reflects this view is language enables people to interact effectively, build and maintain relationships, and express and exchange knowledge, skills, attitudes, emotions, and opinions. This positions language as a social practice that supports participation in society. A part of the curriculum that particularly clarified my understanding was the language strand, especially the substrand language for interacting with others. Initially, I associated the study of language mainly with grammar and spelling. However, this substrand emphasizes how language choices vary according to purpose, audience, and context, aligning with the pragmatic component of language. During Learning Task 1.2, analysing the rationale and aims helped me recognise that language is simultaneously a system, a meaning-making resource, and a social practice. This task deepened my understanding of the teacher's role in supporting students to use language to express identity and participate effectively in society. In summary, my definition of language has evolved from viewing it merely as a communication system to understanding it as a multimodal and socially situated resource for meaning making, shaped by insights from course lectures and the early years learning framework and the Australian curriculum version 9 English. My current beliefs about how language develops have been shaped by exploring several theories in Topic 2, particularly the nativist theory developed by Noam Chomsky and the social interactionalist theory associated with Lev Vygotsky and Jerome Bruner. Together, these perspectives have led me to view language development as a dynamic process that is both biologically predisposed and socially mediated. The nativist theory proposes that children are born with an innate capacity for language, often described as a language acquisition device, and supported by the concept of universal grammar. One idea I found especially compelling is that children can acquire complex grammatical structures despite limited and imperfect input. In my notes from Topic 2, I wrote the phrase, "It's all in your mind," inspired by Lightbound and Sparta's 2006 summary of this perspective. This insight reinforced my belief that while environmental input is important, children possess an inherent readiness to learn language. It also highlighted the significance of allowing a silent period, particularly for learners of additional languages, where comprehension develops before verbal production. In contrast, the social interactionalist theory emphasizes the crucial role of social interaction and cultural context. Concepts such as Vygotsky's zone of proximal development and Bruner's scaffolding were particularly influential. During Learning Task 2.2, where I compared these theories, I noted that interaction provides the bridge between potential and actual language development. This reflection helped me understand that meaningful interactions with more knowledgeable others, including teachers, parents, and peers, are essential for language growth. Topic 2 also highlighted important considerations for students with English as an additional language. Firstly, these learners often experience a silent or receptive period, focusing on listening and understanding before speaking. Secondly, they may develop basic interpersonal communicative skills more quickly than cognitive academic language proficiency, requiring targeted instructional support to access academic content. Overall, my beliefs now reflect a balanced perspective that integrates both innate capacities and socially mediated learning, guiding me to create a supportive, interaction-rich environment for all learners. My understanding of language diversity has grown throughout Topic 3. Initially, I thought it referred to students speaking different languages. However, I now see it as much broader, encompassing differences in culture, identity, dialects, and the many ways children communicate and make meaning. The Early Years Learning Framework and the Australian Curriculum Version 9 English emphasise that this diversity is a strength, not a challenge. Concepts like translanguaging and fronts of knowledge help me understand that students who use English as an additional language or dialect draw on all their linguistic and cultural responses to support their learning. Culturally responsive pedagogy is an approach that values and builds on these diverse backgrounds. In simple terms, it means teaching in ways that connect learning to students' life worlds, support positive cultural identities, and maintain high expectations for all learners. During Learning Task 3.4, I explored Julie's CRP Action Research Project. And one moment that really resonated with me was when students created a book about someone important in their lives and shared it across at a class book launch with their families. I connected with this because I have experienced similar events, like Grandparents' Day, where family involvement made learning more meaningful and engaging. This experience shaped my understanding that teachers can best support EALD learners by valuing their home languages, building strong partnerships with families, and providing opportunities for multimodal expression. Overall, I now see language diversity as an asset that enriches both teaching and learning. My understanding of phonological awareness has developed through the Topic 4 course materials. Phonological awareness refers to the ability to recognize and manipulate the sound structures of spoken language, such as syllables, rhyme, and individual sounds. It is an essential foundational skill for early reading, as it helps children understand that words are made up of smaller sound units that can be identified and manipulated. Phonemic awareness is a more specific component of phonological awareness. While phonological awareness involves larger sound units like syllables and rhyme, phonemic awareness focuses on the ability to hear, identify, and manipulate individual phonemes, which are the smallest units of sound in a word. For example, the word cat can be segmented into the phonemes k, a, t. Understanding this distinction is important because phonemic awareness supports children's ability to decode and spell words, linking spoken sounds to written symbols. Phonological awareness is crucial because it supports successful literacy development. Children who develop strong awareness of sounds are better prepared for reading and spelling, while those who miss these skills may require targeted support later in their schooling. Several key concepts further support phonological awareness. Onset and rhyme refer to the parts of a syllable. The onset is the initial consonant or the consonant cluster, and the rhyme is the vowel and any following consonants. Examples include cat, k, at, train, ch, ain, sun, un. Syllables are the beats or units of sounds within words. Example includes sun, one syllable, paper, paper, two syllables, elephant, elephant, three syllables. Rhyme involves words that share the same ending sounds. Examples are cat, hat, mat, dog, log, frog, star, car, far. Alliteration is the repetition of the same initial sound in closely connected words. Example includes Lucy likes lollies, silly snakes slither, and big brown bear. Finally, phonemic segmentation demonstrates understanding of individual sounds in words. So train, t, r, a, n, 4 phonemes. Ship, sh, ip, 3 phonemes. Bottle, b, o, t, l, 4 phonemes. The double T in bottle represents one t sound, and the final e forms a single l sound. In summary, phonological awareness, and particularly phonemic awareness, is fundamental to children's literacy development. By teaching these concepts through engaging activities such as rhyme, songs, and language play, educators can effectively support early reading success. In my own words, phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, and phonics are closely related, but distinct concepts that support early literacy development. Phonological awareness is the broadest term and refers to a child's ability to recognize and manipulate the sound structures of spoken language, such as syllables, rhyme, and alliteration. It is entirely auditory and does not involve written letters. For example, recognizing that cat and hat rhyme demonstrates phonological awareness. Phonemic awareness is a more specific component of phonological awareness. It focuses on the ability to hear and manipulate individual phonemes. For instance, the word ship can be segmented into the sounds sh, ip. Activities such as blending, segmenting, or delecting sounds like changing k in cat to h to make it hat demonstrate phonemic awareness. Phonics, on the other hand, involves the connection between phonemes, sounds, and graphemes, letters or letter combinations. It is both auditory and visual, enabling children to decode and encode written words. For example, recognizing that the letter sh represents the sh sound in ship illustrates phonics knowledge. For key terminology and examples, a long vowel is a vowel sound that says its letter name. An example is cake. The AE represents the long A sound, often called a split digraph or silent E pattern. A short vowel, however, is a vowel sound that does not say its letter name, such as cap. The A represents the short A sound. A consonant cluster is two or more consonants placed together where each sound is heard. Examples: bl in black, sh in street, mp in jump. Consonant digraph is two consonants that combine to make a single sound. Examples are sh in ship, ch in chair, th in that. Vowel digraph are two vowels that work together to represent one sound. Examples are e in seat, a in rain, o in boat. Diphthong, however, is a complex vowel sound where the mouth moves from one position to another within the same syllable. Examples are oi in coin, oo in cloud, oi in boy. Effective ways to teach phonics are the course materials highlight several effective methods for teaching phonics. Firstly, systematic and explicit instruction introduces phoneme, grapheme, corresponds in a clear way and sequence matter, enabling students to build skills progressively. Secondly, multisensory approaches such as tracing letters, using actions, or manipulating magnetic letters engage visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning pathways, strengthening memory and understanding. Thirdly, contextualized reading and writing, such as guided reading or decodable text, allow students to apply phonics knowledge in meaningful situations, reinforcing learning. These methods are effective because they provide structured, engaging, and meaningful opportunities for students to connect sounds with letters, supporting accurate decoding and spelling, more than simply recognizing its meaning. Knowing a word involves understanding its form, meaning, and use. This includes how the word sounds, how it's spelled, its grammatical role, the context in which it is appropriate, and how it relates to other words. It also involves both receptive vocabulary and expressive vocabulary. An example of a word that I believe I truly know is scaffold. I understand its literal meaning in construction as well as its metaphorical use in education to describe the support teachers provide to help students achieve tasks within their zone of proximal development. I can pronounce and spell the word correctly, use it in different grammatical forms such as scaffolding or scaffold, and apply it appropriately in professional contexts. This demonstrates a deep understanding of the word's form, meaning, and use. Topic 6 also explains how teachers can decide which words to select for explicit instruction. Teachers often prioritize high utility words that students are likely to encounter across multiple contexts, particularly those that have support through their academic learning. Consideration is also given to students' prior knowledge, curriculum relevance, and whether a word is essential for understanding a specific text or concept. Words that are conceptually rich or unlikely to be learned incidentally are strong candidates for explicit teaching. Traditional grammar, another focus of Topic 6, categorizes words according to the roles they play in sentences. 3 key features include a noun, which is a name, a place, or a person or a thing. A verb expresses an action or state, includes a finite verb, which locates the clause in time, and an adjective, which describes or provides more information about the noun. For example, in the sentence I created, the curious students explored the ancient museum. The determiner is the adjective is curious and ancient. The nouns are students, museums. The finite verb is explored, indicating past tense. This sentence contains an independent clause because it is grammatically complete and expresses a full idea. In summary, knowing a word involves a rich understanding of its form, meaning, and use. By carefully selecting vocabulary for explicit instruction and understanding traditional grammar, teachers can effectively support students' languages and literacy development.